Hello, I'm very honored to be here, and I have to thank the organizations of AllWeb conference to be here. And today I will talk about something with the name digital pre-marketing. Is from prerequisites for the significant online business result improvement. I did, as it is said, from 1998, I did a lot of clients, big clients, small clients, and I found that there is a lot of difference between the perception of the business and the perception of the marketing and internet marketing related to the companies who are very advanced comparing to the companies who just started to do something, or they are in some business but they don't have really good results. And at the beginning of the last year, I really asked the questions why, for example, when we are talking about digital agencies, for example, why some agencies cannot earn more money, for example, for website development or for the budgets, but in the same moment, some other agencies can get much more money than, for example, you can get. Did you ever ask that question to yourself? Why for example, there are some people here who created websites. Why, for example, some companies can create websites for about 500 euros, 1,000 euros. Some companies do it for 10,000 euros. For example, I worked with one company who is with some very advanced web content management solution with the name DSL Web, and they created last year the web. It is not the website; it is the ecosystem of 28 websites for the relatively unknown company with the name Turkish Airlines. And the request of that company, Turkish Airlines, was, we want to have the system which will be able to support the fact that we have 700,000 euros in moment of the turnover from the websites. And we want the system who can support 700,000 euros per moment, not per second, per moment of transactions online. The budget for those 28 sites was $31 million. But it is not just for the website development, it is for all. Can you get those kind of projects? What is the difference between the companies who have a very good results and the companies who don't have a very good results? That is the issues related to something which I called digital pre-marketing, or what are the prerequisites to have a really good results and to be a digital leader and to have a digital excellence in the business you do. The problem starts with the very simple things. For example, the majority of people in the world, not just here, ask, when they want to do something, they ask how to do something. Then on the first presentation today, you heard that what is not the right question. Barbara also mentioned how question. How is also not the right question. How to do something. Why? Because you have tutorials. You go to YouTube and you type whatever you want and you will find the solution of what you want to learn. How to do something is not a problem. For example, you can also be in situation to learn through the relevant content. If you didn't know, and I would recommend you, if you didn't know, that the location with the name thinkwithgoogle.com, it is the reference location, web location, and through that location you can learn really the things which are very important for the next 5 or 10 years. For example, this article related to try before buy a trend which is very actual, which is very actual right now in US. It will be in this region. It will be very, very important in next 1 to 3 years from now. It is not right now, but it is very, very interesting. And my suggestion to you is to try to find the relevant and reference content and to learn from those kind of content. Of course, internet is all about testing. You can have real-time results through Google Analytics and so on, which means that you can, when you learn something through, for example, those tutorials, some educational stuff like this conference or something like that or something else, you can test all of those things and immediately you can see if there are results and what to change and so on. And what is, for me, what is most interesting thing and what is the problem in some companies, and there are a lot of companies who have that problem, that when you have a lot of knowledge, only way how you can be better related to the things you do is to learn from the best practice. That is the only way you can be better if you know a lot of things. The problem with the best practice, first, what I realized about 20 years ago is that the majority of people do not understand the best practice. They do not know how to find the best practice. For me, it was a very surprising thing, but really, it was like that. That is the first thing. The second thing, which is much more important and much worse problem, is then when you know what is the best practice. You heard from the people like I am or some other lecturers, what is the best practice. The problem is how to implement that practice in your company. What is similar, what is not similar, how to do the implementation of some best practice in your company. And a lot of companies do not know how to do that. And when you know, then you can be a very, very, very good in the things you do. The only thing you have to think about is how to get the relevant resources for all of those stuff. And you can go by Google. And sometimes you noticed that there is a problem when you type something and you cannot find immediately the best resources. But it is okay. You can spend some more time to get the results done. When I started professionally do internet, related to internet marketing, there was not Google there. There was Yahoo, there was some other, Alta Vista and so on. And there was a problem to find information online. Now it is not so much a problem, but there is some problems. The right question you should ask yourself is why your company have not so good results comparing to some other companies who sell the little with the less good products and services, and they have much better results than you. What you should do, not to be jealous to do something or to be jealous of that company, but you have to sit and think what you should do to be much more better, or what should you do to significantly improve your online business results. And this stands for the digital pre-marketing. It is in the relation how to significantly improve online business results on the easy, quickly, and the right way to do it, qualitatively to do those kind of things. And I will give you 3 advices. I created a book about this, and I put it in the book. It is 3 from 7 or 8 best advices I can give to someone related to business and related to marketing, and they are very simple to set, but very hard to implement. Focus on the user needs, not on the technology that allows it. Technology is just enabler, which means that if you sell the CRM solutions, customer relationship management solutions, it is not the solution, it is a software. Customer relationship management is something like a mindset, if you are talking about business, But if you're talking about software, it is a tool that can enable you to automate marketing and sales. It is not the solution. For example, how many companies here are dealing with the website creation, the website development? There are some, not too much, but there are some. For example, will you offer a client the best solution to his/her problem regardless of the technology you are currently using? That is one of the most important problems, and it can be solved until you have a very, very good results to switch to this point of mindset, because most of the companies are selling the technology they are using. They are not selling the technology which is best for the client. And here is the example. For example, when you are doing something related to e-commerce, very, very, very good CMS solution is Magento. It is one of the most selling, and it is the most sellable e-commerce solution, but it is not for the startup companies, and it is not for the companies who are in offline commerce and to come to online commerce, because it is too complicated and too engaging. It is much better to do that with the systems like Shopify, like Wix.com, like there are some other solutions which you could rent, and it is much more cheaper and much more easier to manage. And when I talk like this with some companies who are in website development, they want to kill me. Why you are doing like this? You get out the bread from us because you're saying something like this. We want to get more money and that. And I said to them, okay, it is much better when that company through Shopify earns, for example, 5,000 euros per month, then they will have enough money and enough knowledge to exactly know what to do with the solutions like Magento. It is a much better thing to do, and you will be much better company when you suggest those kind of companies that kinds of solutions. Second best advice I can give you, focus on the value of the product or service for the customer, not the functionality that enables sales. That is called the list of benefits, not the feature list. For example, when you downloaded some application of your mobile phone and they do the new version of it, you may notice that they put some feature list. Okay, that's new in now new version. How many of you used those features? It is regardless, it is desktop computer, it is a mobile phone. You know when you have a new version, how many of you used those features from the feature list? Is there anybody who do that? You see, there are 3, 4, 5 people. Other people do not use it because those features are something which was some idea from some developers or developer company. It was not related to the real need of the customer. Ask yourself this. If you have a website or you create the content for the website, do you create a feature list? What your company do? Or you are focused on solving the problem and how to describe the solutions, real solutions of the problems of the company. One of the reasons why websites have, did you notice that there is a lot of bad content online, a lot of not good content, a lot of spam content, a lot of, I don't know what kind of content. The reason is because people do not like to think. You see that? People don't like to think. It is much better not to think. There are some reasons why is that so. But if you think, then you are very competitive related to other companies. Third advice, which is not seen very well, focus on the customer's satisfaction after purchasing, not the needs of customers to sell the product. This is very hard. This is very hard. And if you practice this, you are the company with a very, very good growth. The problem is that people do not do under-promise, over-deliver thing. What I'm talking about. You have, for example, people from sales, and they have sales target. What will people do, those salespeople, to sell you something? They will tell you anything, just to selling, because their target is to sell something. And then, when those people sell your product or service, then you are in problem. Why? Because you did not meet the expectations of those people, because those salespersons exaggerated about, oh, I will do, that product will do anything. You imagine anything they do, and then the customers expecting everything, and they did not get that everything, and you are in problem. Are you agree with me? And the problem is that when you are in the earliest phase of the development of your business related to online, offline, never mind, it is very hard not to focus on sales. And it is even harder to focus on the customer satisfaction after sales. It is much more important to focus on the experience of the customer after sales than to the focus of the what to sell and how to sell it with exaggerations. And that, I think that is the most important advice I can give you. Here, I put the example of Topshop, but it is not related to this. Did you notice that those salespersons from Topshop, they are not exaggerating, but they are a little bit annoying? Did you notice that? And the reason why they are annoying is because of the characteristics of the products they sell. They sell a very expensive products with a very good gross margin on a large scale. If you want to sell something which is expensive on a large scale, unfortunately, that is the kind of way it should be done. And those kind of companies, for example, in Serbia, and I'm pretty sure that it is, I'm from Serbia, by the way, and I'm pretty sure that that is the same situation here. Topshop is in Serbia one of the best e-business companies online. They have a really digital excellence practice related to how they promote products, how they create content, how they use different channels, online, offline, and so on. They are the real best practice how to do it, related to the direct sales effects. It can be said that, that digital pre-marketing explains the necessary prerequisites for solving the problems which are preventing you to accomplish significantly better marketing and PR results. And I did and created one methodology which is based on the so-called digital business capability, digital readiness capability model, or digital maturity model, or maturity model in general, if you're talking about management. And it is related to the moment when you are, for example, right now, that you have some kind of knowledge of the business you do. That knowledge can be more and less good, but it always can be better. Do you agree with me that you can always learn more? You are here because of that. The problem, and everybody said that it is like that, but the problem with those kind of things is because you don't know what is the next thing. What is the next thing you should know to have significantly better results? And this methodology is dealing with that. To explain this, I will explain these phases related to sophistication of organizational business. For example, the first stage is, I call it initial online presence. It is like in primary schooling, that you are in primary schooling related to knowledge you have. And the main characteristic of that phase is that most of the companies, the majority of the companies in the whole world, it is not related just to this place or this region, majority of the companies use the online platforms like Amazon.com or Meryep.il here. There are some companies who use that and they learn a lot of money because I saw at the SimilarWeb.com web service. I hope that you use that service, SimilarWeb.com, that Meryep.al website has about 350,000 visitors per month. And it is enough to have a really good online business related to sales. And it means that there are some people who can earn money and who can live through selling through that kind of marketplace. Amazon.com, of course, is very known, and there are some other examples. For example, online platform is also Facebook.com. You saw that there are some companies who just sell the things through Facebook. They don't have websites. You notice that. Some companies do that just from Instagram. I saw, for example, companies who do that from YouTube, just YouTube, nothing else, and so on. Those are the platforms and platform way of doing the business, and most of those companies do not have websites. Do you know the main reason why a lot of companies do that kind of things? Why there are a lot of companies who do that? Because you don't need marketing to sell things there. You have to focus on the price strategy. This is only part of the marketing, the price strategy. You have picture, you have the name of the product, you have characteristics of the product, and that is all you have need to sell something there. And you must have compatible, interesting products and so on. Next phase, and there is the phase where the 90% of all the owners of the websites are the phase which I call the variable online results phase. That is the phase when you have promotion, when you have advertising and something like that. Sometimes you have results, sometimes you don't have results, but but you are not know how to do marketing with only good results. And the majority, as I said, of companies and majority of you here in this room are in this phase. And that is very interesting because the next phase, I put those e-commerce websites I found on alexa.com ranking, and I'm pretty sure that they are in this kind of phase. The next phase is the first serious phase related to significantly better results in the business. It is phase which I called marketing results optimization. That is the moment when you realize how to get the good results from advertising, from marketing activities, always have good results. And then when you have it, that is very interesting, that then you start to optimizing everything. Optimize sales, optimize customer experience, optimize channels, promotional channels, and so on. And through that phase, that is the first phase, when you realize that what is the meaning of strategy. That is the first phase when companies are really do something related to strategy. And after that, I put the most visited websites related to news here from Albania because I saw that there is a lot of very visited websites related to news here. And I put those because in some ways, not always, in some parts, those websites, those companies are in this phase. They are not in this phase in all the aspects of their business because news companies have their problems and so on. I will not do that because it is not that kind of presentation, but they are in some cases because they are very good. And the fourth phase I put, because this methodology can be done by the 4, 5, or 6 phases, I put only 4 phases. It is transformed organization, and it is related to, if you are talking about marketing and PR, and if you are mainly from the marketing agencies, PR agencies, it means that you have transformed your company, your agency, because there is a serious need for digital transformation marketing and PR. I wrote about that, I talk about those kind of things. And I call that integrated marketing activities, which means that you have very good results, you have implemented strategy, and you know the ways how to combine different successful strategy to get the best results. And one of the companies I talked about is TopShop, who are really in that phase. That is the phase of digital excellence. Would you like to be in the digital excellence phase? Or you think that you are? This is that methodology, and those are the prerequisites related to each of those phases I told you. And what is interesting, related to online communication, I also put some interesting thing related to that online communication model. In the first phase, 50 to 70% of all businesses are in so-called single-channel communication, which means that they communicate through one or just several platforms. They're not doing much things more than that. 90% of all businesses related to websites are in so-called multi-channel communication. It is 20 to 40% of the businesses. 40% is in more developed countries, 20% is less developed countries like our countries. And that multi-channel, the main characteristic of that multi-channel communication is that you use, for example, Instagram, Facebook, SEO, PPC, and so on. But there is a problem between communication, between teams who do those kind of channel communication. A lot of companies have teams who do not cooperate through those channels, and that is very important because in the next phase, when you have optimization, that is the cross-channel communication, when you use the best practice from one channel to improve the other channel, but not by copy-paste things, but to adapt it to the way of communication of that channel. And the last phase, it is omni-channel. It is mentioned by Alessandro. Omni-channel communication has very good and very interesting characteristics, and one of them is that you can use the logic of the online advertising and accountability of online advertising in offline advertising. How to do that quantitatively things in the qualitatively matter. How not to spend a lot of money for some results related, for example, to branding campaigns when you don't know what are the results, and so on. At the end, I will tell you one interesting example, what is going on in general, that is from Serbia, and it was from several days ago. There was published some article on the website with the name whiskyflavor.com, the best whiskies from all around the world, and one whiskey from Serbia is mentioned there. And what is interesting, that website, the name of the whiskey is 2 Dose. It is something like, or maybe it is less like your cognac, Skanderbeg, which is really good. I have a picture, you can have it on social media, me and Barbara with Skanderbeg. And they have a website, which is only in Serbian, and they do not have a contact form. And then they get something which is offline excellence, but they do not have something which is offline excellence. That is it. The book at the moment is only in Serbian. In 2 or 3 months will be in English. If you are interested, you can go on the digital pre-marketing website and put your email address, and we will inform you when the English book will be available. Thank you. For the question, it is not a problem to approach me when there is the break for lunch. Thank you.